This episode of the Batify podcast is brought to you in partnership with ministryleague.com. We would love for more people to discover this show, so please rate and review us on iTunes or your podcast provider. Feel free to share on your social media, and please do subscribe. Enjoy. Welcome in to part 3 of our interview with my mom, Doris Creasy, about my older brother, Bradley Dupree, who was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at a young age. In this episode, we discuss the legend of Bradley Dupree, some of our favorite stories of Bradley as we were growing up, and we know that you'll enjoy it.
I didn't grow up in the house, but I grew up a lot in the house. I was over there a lot doing things, and it was always and even Bradley, even when he was obviously in pain, obviously hurting, he has always, and Travis alluded to this already, just always a joy though. Just always, tried to make us laugh. Sometimes tried to make Travis cry. But just always fun to be around.
When I think about I can dwell on the things that were bad, but always we come back to the fun things. One of my favorite memories, and I've told this on Travis and them so many times, and Kevin, but they loved to wrestle. And Bradley had spasticity, which meant he could really wrap his little hands and arms were like stiff and could wrap you up. And they'd say, "Mama, put Bradley in the floor and let us wrestle. Put Bradley in the floor and let us wrestle." So I'd put him down there, and Bradley would wrap them limbs around them, and the next thing you know, they'd be hollering, "Mama, make him let us go. Mama, make him let us go." Because he was like, "Got you now, buddy, and you ain't going nowhere." And so the fun, we just had so much fun and fun times with him. And it wasn't always that he didn't like to be outdoors there, for the first 12 years of his life. He was in for everything. Boat riding, he'd get on a motorcycle, he'd go on a horse or whatever. But as his body twisted, he became afraid to get on them. And then everybody loves Bradley because he's just got the best attitude. For all he's been through, there's always been a smile on his face. If he's not smiling, then you need to be worried about something, because that's just not him.
Yeah, and Travis, you could probably tell us a little bit about what happens when you make him mad.
The bad part is when that coincides with his newfound ability to move with an electric wheelchair. I made the mistake of not picking the DVD that he wanted to watch. And, as far as what she's talking about mentally, he
can be pretty sharp.
He's sharp, and he had and Ben and I were there, and typical brother fashion. Obviously, there's some limitations there. It doesn't mean he doesn't get mad at his lawyer for picking the wrong DVD, and I made that mistake. And he had recently acquired the ability to move in a wheelchair, and he pinned me against the entertainment center pretty well. Shockingly, to my surprise and yours, Ben.
Ben ain't never.
I have not stopped laughing about it. It's still one of my favorite memories from childhood.
I can still hear his tires.
They're just turning.
Carpet, spinning out.
Yeah.
Um,
And I was like, Bradley, and you can't use it as a weapon. You got to not
And
do that.
my other favorite thing was, I'm gonna tell the two bad things on Bradley. These are the only two bad things I know. Is when he ran over you, and this isn't even bad, but he had this ability to punch these buttons on this computer so he could talk, and it was amazing. It was this great thing that he could finally communicate and say, "I want this, and I want this," or whatever. But it was pre-programmed. And so the one thing that they programmed was, every brother wants to be able to talk back, and he couldn't call people names. So y'all programmed it to say, "Get out of my face." And I'll always remember the get out of my face. And he would hit that button over and over again. It was great.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Once again, if he has an issue with you, you will know quickly, whether it's through his voice box or his facial expression.
And I got to tell this on your mom. I got to church one Sunday morning, and I was just so flustered because I'd get up and give all through them back, get them ready. And, Kevin was just a baby, and Bradley was basically a baby, so Travis was the only one that could even dress himself. And I was getting us all to church and got there and realized I didn't have a bit of makeup on. And I went in your mama's classroom, and she was getting ready for the babies, and I said, "I'm not going in there. I don't have makeup on, Nadine, and I'm not going in there." She said, "Yes, you are." She said, "You are going in there. Don't nobody care if you got on makeup or not. You going in there." I mean, your mama hardly ever gets in your face, but she said, "You are going in there." And I never will forget that. I thought, "Oh, I've come all the way down. I didn't even put makeup on." And she wouldn't let me go home. She said, "You're going."
Well, and I was thinking about just
just
listening to you, Doris. It's been a pleasure just to sit back and listen to you tell your story. Because I had a front row seat to it. I was there a lot at the house, and Travis was at our house, and all of you guys were at our house. Back and forth. And people who don't know, most people know we're cousins by now, but we're a tight knit bunch too. We're not. Growing up, we were had stuff every holiday, and several of us went to church together, and just a close family. But I've always been inspired, especially as I've gotten older. I've been inspired by you and what you've done because I understand now the difficulties of kids in general. I understand, the difficulties of getting them ready and getting them motivated, just all the different things that come with having kids, and the fact that there was so much of your life, obviously not all of it, but so much of it that you did do by yourself, and you motivated, three guys, and even more of us like me, to do some great things, and your faith really showed through the struggles that you went through, and like you said, that you got up and you found a way to send Travis to Freed Hardeman, and just there's so many things that we could talk about, but that there was an inspiration there in the way that you let your faith move you. And there's a lot of ways God shows up, but then we also have to let him show up. We have to kind of allow, not that he needs our permission, but we do have to kind of allow him to make those changes in us. And you did. And so I don't know. It's just you have been an inspiration in that way.
Well, I think it's Romans that talks about, Romans 1, the invisible attributes of God, and you have to be attuned to the will of God to see those things. And that's not it's a simple task, but it's not an easy task. And I think you look at Psalm 23 again, where even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, even in my worst moment, even if I don't get the answer I want, we would all love for Bradley to be magically healed, walk around. I think I would love that. He might have a few whoopings,
no doubt,
in there somewhere. He might come looking for me, but that'd be awesome. But the answer to that question was no, or at least not right now. But because of what we believe that Bradley will be whole one day, and
he believes that.
Yeah, and Bradley certainly believes that. There's may not be a person who believes in heaven more than he does. just want to take a moment as we get ready to ask the final question to our guests to encourage you, if you are in the market or looking to create your own podcast, to look at Anchor. That's what we use. As you listen, you may be thinking, if these two guys can do it, then anybody can, and that's absolutely true with Anchor. The best part is it's free. There's plenty of creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also contact and have your guests on from different locations or right there in the room with you. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. It can be on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I got two more. What is your pet peeve? It gets on your nerves more than anything else.
Screaming. Just for the sake of screaming, Daniel.
Okay, Daniel.
Can't stand it.
What, anything remotely close to postal work, post office?
Oh.
Pet peeves?
Oh, yeah.
News
People
dump?
that just are so... I've got to tell this one. And everybody at the post office heard this, and they'd say, Doris, tell that story. I had a lady come up to me on a route one day, and she said, why am I not getting my mail? And I said, she had just moved in the house. And I said, well, I know I've delivered, your light bill. Yeah, but why am I not getting my mail forwarded? And I said, well, ma'am, because I didn't know anything else to say. I said, well, you did turn in a forwarding. She said, no, but they know I'm gone.
Just automatically find it there.
Automatically go to Florence because they know I'm gone. And I'm like, I said, you gotta turn in a forward here, fill this out. But I was just like, and everybody was like, Doris, tell them about that woman.
Just, I mean, everybody ought to know I moved, right?
Oh, and there's another one, lady.
Critters in the mailbox.
Critters in the mailbox. Yes, I pulled up to this mailbox, and there was a dead snake in the box. And I turned around, and these little kids was in the ditch going, oh, that's so funny. And I was slammed the door, and I took a note, and I said, and the next day, I opened the box, and there's a dead frog in there. And they're just over there laughing. I wrote a note, and I said, mail suspended until critters are out of box. The next day, Grandma left a note and said, there will be no more critters in that mailbox, I promise you. Okay. So she took care of that.
And anybody
that's any sort of animal.
That's an animal.
And frogs and
any sort of animal.
So.
And then finally, what canceled TV show would you bring back? Is there a TV show?
Oh man, there's so many good ones. But oh shoot, what would I bring back? Something really hilarious. Tell me a movie a show that's really, really good.
Mork and Mindy.
Of course, I love the old shows that were clean. Like, no. I love Mork and Mindy then. I watch them now and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I would say something like Andy Griffith or something funny and clean like that. I would love to see something like that.
There you go.
I guess that would be my answer to that.
Well, Ben, you got anything else? Anything else you want to bring up, dirt on me or whatever? I'm trying to figure out a way
just
to get
so you
Nadine
can return it.
No,
I was,
I
wanted to hear about the struggle of raising Travis, but I guess that's for another podcast. But
that's for another podcast. He was, and he was not bad at all. He was not a bad kid. He was just the one that got the spankings because you had to show him. You couldn't tell him. You had to show him.
He was from Missouri.
That you met
This is how it hurt.
It should have been.
Yeah.
No, you had to show me.
Show me state.
Well, we're thankful for your time. I'm thankful that
you're
I hope I
quarantining.
answered your question.
You've helped me not hurt my kids, so that's good. And but thank you for being with us. And obviously you had a great impact. And I promise that over the last 2 years, my goal has not been trying to catch Bradley with Bradley on medical problems. So
don't try.
I told him that don't even try that.
We're not going to try it, but thank you so much for being with us. And
yes,
Ben,
sir.
I appreciate your time being with us as well. Thanks for being with us on this episode of the Batify Podcast. Be sure to download the Ministry League app and get all of our sister podcasts, along with all sorts of great ministry material at facebook.com/Ministry League. Until next time, look for us at the same Batify time, same Batify channel.